Hello students, I am Smita and today I am here to discuss few questions from the unit Biology in Human Welfare. If you all remember, you have studied 3 chapters in this particular unit, namely Human Health and Diseases, the second chapter Strategies in Enhancement of Food Production, and the third chapter Microbes in Human Welfare. So, these are the chapters wherein you have studied the importance of certain microbes, how they are going to affect our day-to-day life and how these organisms are used in various industries and fields so as to help the human welfare. So, here we are going to discuss few questions today. The question here is Microsporum, a pathogen for ringworm disease, belongs to the same kingdom as. The options given are A. Ascaris, a roundworm, B. Rhizopus, a mould, C. Taenia, a tapeworm, and D. Wuchereria, a filarial worm. Now, in this question, you are supposed to identify the kingdom to which Microsporum belongs to. Now, no doubt the disease is called as a ringworm disease, but Microsporum is a fungus which causes this particular disease. This is called as ringworm disease since a concentric ring-like lesion is being formed on the infected part of the skin. And from the options, you can make out that Ascaris, Taenia and Wuchereria, they belong to kingdom Animalia, and Rhizopus, a mould, belongs to kingdom Mycota. So, here Microsporum, which causes the disease ringworm along with other organisms like Trichophyton and Epidermophyton, they all belong to the kingdom Mycota, that is the same as that of Rhizopus. So, the right answer would be B, that is Rhizopus, which is a mould. The next question, choose the wrong statement from the following. These are the kind of questions you normally get in these exams where you need to identify the right statement. Sometimes it may be wherein you have to identify the wrong statement. Please read the question properly before concluding the answer. Now, in this particular question, there are 4 statements out of which you will have to identify the wrong statement. The first statement, antiretroviral drugs are partially effective in treating AIDS. Option B is HIV spreads by sexual contact with infected person. C, the period between infection and appearance of AIDS symptom may be few hours to weeks. And D, RNA is the genetic material of HIV. Now, you know that HIV is a retrovirus and this particular virus contains RNA as the genetic material. So, the last statement is the right statement, and the disease is spread through sexual contact by infected person. So, the second statement is true as well. For the treatment of AIDS, the antiretroviral drugs are partially effective in treating AIDS. This is a true statement because antiretroviral treatment is actually partially effective because it is just going to see to it that the virus does not spread. It is just going to see to it that the multiplication is halted for a while. The last statement which we haven't discussed is the period between infection and appearance of AIDS symptom may be few hours to weeks. Now, actually, once a HIV gets into the body, it may stay there as a latent organism for anywhere between few months to several years. It is found that the symptom may appear 5 to 10 years after the infection has occurred, and on an average it is found that it may take about 28 months for the symptoms to show up after the infection. So this statement C is a wrong one. Here option C, which says that the period between infection and appearance of AIDS symptom may be few hours to week, is the wrong statement, because HIV takes anywhere between 5 to 10 years to show up the symptoms. Here this question says, choose the incorrect statement with respect to malignant tumor. The statements are like this. The statement A, tumor cells remain confined to original location. Statement B, tumor cells divide rapidly. Statement C, the tumor grows rapidly. And statement D, the tumor cells damage the surrounding normal cells. Now in the class you have studied the types of the tumors. You have malignant tumors and the benign tumors. When compared, malignant tumors are more dangerous because these are the tumors wherein the cells are in rapid division continuously. It makes the tumor grows very rapidly, and it is also going to affect the neighboring normal cells by competing for the nutrients. It is going to starve the normal cells and they are going to compete for the nutrients. And finally, these cells here are not very tightly bound, as a result of which they have the ability to escape from the tumor, get into the bloodstream, and they may get into some other organ and cause the tissues to rapidly divide. That is, they can make the other tissues become cancerous. So here when you look into the options, you will find that the statement B, C and D are right with respect to malignant tumor, whereas the statement A, that is tumor cells remain confined to original location, is a wrong statement. Actually, malignant tumor cells, they move away from the site of the original location and they may cause cancer in other organs or tissues. This particular phenomenon is known as metastasis. So malignant tumors exhibit metastasis. So this statement, statement A, is a incorrect statement. The next question is, the use of antihistamine drugs to treat allergy helps. The option A is in curing allergy, option B is to build resistance against allergens, option C is to reduce allergic symptoms, and option D to promote production of IgE. Here you have to understand about allergy and the allergens and what happens in the body during allergy. Allergy is an exaggerated response for the presence of certain substances known as allergens. Now, in presence of an allergen, a foreign body inside our body is going to respond in certain ways. One thing, there is production of the immunoglobulin E. Then the mast cells are going to release certain substances called as histamine, and in presence of the histamine there are certain symptoms which develop in the body wherein there may be inflammation, sneezing or eruptions on the skin. So when a person with an allergy is being given an antihistamine, there are certain things the doctor will be seeing. or you will have to understand that an antihistamine is given to in response to or to reduce the amount of histamine which is bringing out the symptoms. The doctor can't cure the allergy as soon as you go in with certain symptoms. For that purpose, the doctor will have to identify the substance which is causing the allergy, that is, he has to identify the allergen, he has to make you develop the resistance to that particular allergen by injecting the substance subcutaneously in very small amounts, and then finally your body is going to develop the resistance to that particular allergen and you may be cured of that particular allergy. So, when you look into the options, the main thing here is antihistamine drugs are given to treat allergy, mainly to reduce the allergic symptoms. When you look into the options, you will see that the use of antihistamine drugs, it can't be used in curing allergy, it is not to build resistance against the allergens, or it is not to promote production of IgE, it is mainly to reduce the allergic symptoms. So, the right answer will be option C in this particular case. The next question is again wherein you will have to identify or choose the wrong statement. The question goes like this: select the wrong statement for alcoholism. The statements are: statement A, this is linked to reckless and violent behavior. Statement B says it does not exhibit withdrawal symptom on abrupt discontinuation. Statement C, it is a major cause of liver cirrhosis, and statement D, this can be overcome by education and counseling. Now, if you can observe, all these statements are with respect to alcohol abuse or commonly known as alcoholism. Alcohol abuse or alcoholism is wherein a person becomes dependent on alcohol and cannot do without it. Now, this particular alcoholism, it brings in certain characters in the person, or it may affect the behavior of the person wherein the person may become violent or exhibit certain kind of behavior which is not like acceptable. Then this particular disorder, that is alcoholism, is also wherein is the major cause for liver disorders, mainly liver cirrhosis. In this condition, the liver cells are damaged, and if the damage is beyond any repair, the liver gets damaged permanently and it may have to be replaced. Then the last one is what is done to these people who are into alcoholism or alcohol abuse. Many a times a person who is abusing alcohol may want to leave off or discontinue the consumption of alcohol, wherein he needs some help. Many a times educating people and counseling those who are already abusing alcohol helps a lot, and they may come out of that particular habit. Now, here what is wrong here in this particular set of statement is it does not exhibit withdrawal symptom on abrupt discontinuation. Now, a person who is abusing alcohol or consuming too much of alcohol, when made to discontinue alcohol abruptly, like all of a sudden if he is made to stop the consumption, he may experience certain symptoms which is known as withdrawal symptoms. These withdrawal symptoms include wherein the person will experience anxiety, there may be some palpitations of the heart, or there may be variation in the blood pressure, the person may sweat. This is altogether known as the withdrawal symptom. So, here this particular statement, that is it does not exhibit withdrawal symptom on abrupt discontinuation is the right answer, because actually when a person discontinues alcohol, he is going to experience withdrawal symptoms. So, the correct answer here would be statement B. The next type of question here is wherein you have to identify the correct pairing. There are such kind of questions wherein you will have to identify the correct pairing, or maybe you will have to match column 1 with column B. So, this particular question goes like this. It gives 4 options. Option A, poultry, Bombyx mori; apiculture, Labiorohita; sericulture, Apis indica; pisciculture, Catla catla. Now, here you need to understand what these terminologies means. Poultry is wherein birds are reared for the meat or for egg. Apiculture is rearing of bees for the purpose of obtaining honey and beeswax. Sericulture is wherein silk moths are reared to obtain silk, and pisciculture is the rearing of fishes. Now, here you need to understand the examples here. Bombyx mori is the scientific name for the silk moth. Labiorohita, common name is rohu fish. Apis indica is the scientific name for bees, and Catla catla is the name for Catla fish. So, here when you just look into these pairing, poultry and Bombyx mori cannot be the right pairing. Apiculture and Labiorohita cannot be the right pairing. Sericulture and Apis indica cannot be the right pairing. The right pairing here is pisciculture and Catla catla. So, hence option D is the right answer in this particular question. Now, here yet another question where you need to identify the wrong statement, and this question here you will have to select the wrong statement with respect to moit. Statement A, hormones with FSH like activity is used to induce superovulation. Statement B, unfertilized eggs are extracted from the animal for IVF. Statement C, surrogate mothers are used for embryo transfer. And statement D, large number of desired offsprings are obtained in short time. Multiple ovulation and embryo transfer technology, or MOIT as it is known, is a technique wherein the desired kind of offspring is obtained in a very short time. For this purpose, a superior female animal where certain characters are desired is being injected with FSH like hormone, that is follicle stimulating hormone, and then the animal is allowed to super ovulate. The animal will be producing large number of ova, maybe about 6 to 8 ova are being produced. Once this is done, the female animal is allowed to mate with a superior bull or artificial insemination, wherein the semen collected from a superior bull is used for artificial insemination. This is going to bring about fertilization. After fertilization, the eggs at 8 to 32 cell stage, that is the embryo, is extracted from the mother and it is placed in the womb of the surrogate mother and allowed to develop. All this will enable to obtain offsprings of desired characters in a very short time. Now, in this particular set of statement, you will observe that all the statements except the statement B, that is unfertilized eggs are extracted from animal for IVF, is the wrong statement, because here it is instead of the unfertilized egg, it has to be the fertilized egg are being extracted, and there is no IVF being performed in this particular technique. Hence, option B or statement B is the wrong statement, and this option is the right answer for this particular question. In this particular question, the question goes like this: mule is an offspring obtained by interspecific hybridization of male horse and female horse. Option B, intraspecific hybridization of male horse and female donkey. Option C is interspecific hybridization of male donkey and female horse. And option D, intraspecific hybridization of male donkey and female horse. In this particular question, you need to understand two things. One, the meaning of interspecific and intraspecific hybridization, and the animals used. Horse and donkey are common, whether it was the male donkey or the female donkey, which is the right answer for mule. Coming to interspecific and intraspecific hybridization. Interspecific hybridization is a kind of mating animals between two species which are entirely different, whereas intraspecific hybridization is wherein within the same species two different animals are being mated to obtain an offspring. And here you also see that there are two animals involved in the offspring, that is mule and that is horse and donkey. When you look into this, you need to identify, or you need to be very sure which are the animals, whether it is the male horse with the female donkey or the male donkey with the female horse. Now, with this explanation, it should be clear by now that the mule is not definitely a product or an offspring of intraspecific hybridization. So, option B and option D is completely ruled out. When it comes to option A and option C, interspecific hybridization of male horse and female donkey and interspecific hybridization of male donkey and female horse. The first option here, it refers to male horse and female donkey, which actually gave rise to an offspring which is called as hinny, and interspecific hybridization of male donkey and female horse gave rise to the offspring called as mule. Mule had both the characteristic features of the horse and the donkey. It is strong like the horse and it is a hard worker like a donkey, and that is why it is commercially useful animal. So, here the right option would be option C. The mule is an interspecific hybridization of male donkey and female horse.